On the news, no new case of coronavirus in Nigeria, federal government assures residents. Gunmen kill 51 in fresh attack in Kaduna State. Death toll in coronavirus outbreak surged past 3,000. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The Nigerian government says there is no new case of the coronavirus COVID-19 in Lagos or any other part of the country. Health Minister Osagie Hanire gave the assurance during a press conference on Monday in Abuja. He added that the number of identified contacts of the index case in Lagos and Ogun State are 19 and 39 respectively, and they have all been placed under supervised self-isolation. Hanire also revealed that no Nigerian in Wuhan, China has contracted the virus.
I didn't see the taxi driver, but he has been identified. He's under observation, and he's going to monitor for the next 14 days, as all the 19 people in Lagos and 39 people in Ogun State who have been in contact with him, they're all being tracked and monitored. And they're all on self-isolation in their homes. The airline that brought in the patient, the index patient, has been, of course, notified of the patient, and they have been advised to put their crew also on observation, the crew that came with them. They are taking care of all the Nigerians in China. In Wuhan itself, where this disease first appeared, there are about 60 Nigerians there. None of them has caught the coronavirus disease. They are all well. The only African who got it was from Cameroon, and he has been treated and he is well. Nigerian ambassador in China, we have also been speaking with him. He is in touch with the Nigerian community over there and giving them all the moral support and also some financial support that they require. The Chinese government also reassured us that they are supplying the Nigerians with food, with everything, so they don't need to go out to look for things to buy. They are supplied everything they need. The main suspected way of importation is by air. China is far away. We have no direct flight. Any flight coming here, we have to pass through different countries. And by the time they get here, some symptoms will show, others may not show. We think there's a slight risk of any person with corona coming by sea. But if you remember that the sea journey from China is about 3 weeks, and the incubation period for the corona is 2 weeks, so anybody coming by sea will have been seriously sick before they reach here.
Meanwhile, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has assured residents that all hands are on deck to contain the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. Sanwo-Olu gave the assurance during a visit to the infectious disease hospital in Yaba, where an Italian national infected with the coronavirus is receiving treatment. He noted that the hospital is well equipped with state-of-the-art facilities to address the outbreak, while also urging Nigerians to avoid the habit of inflating prices of disinfectant.
We need to explain how people need to improve their personal hygiene and environmental hygiene, and how people need to scale up reportage. You know, how people need to suspect and scale up information and know what level of advocacy we need to have.
We have 100 beds there. You see, there's association Ward 1, Ward 2, or 3, and in the event that it even scaled up, we even have tents, you know, that we can immediately deploy. And outside of that, we also have containment in 5 of our big general hospitals that we're going to be preparing, you know, in the event that we just have, you know, a wider number of patients that we need to deal with. And so we're indeed very ready. And we do the testing here. And just also to say that we're collaborating all this with the federal government. The National Disease Control, all their personnel are here, the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and African Union, and some of our international donor agencies all are here working with us. Nigerians and our brothers and sisters are taking advantage of a very unfortunate incident. You know, I think it's condemnable. You know, I mean, people certainly cannot, this is not the means to enrich yourself. It's unfortunate You know, personally also I have to, I've actually had to make commitment to buy some of these things that, you know, so it's really very unfortunate, and we need to speak to ourselves, right? People are just abusing, you know, a rare opportunity. You know, this is something that is not laughable. It's not something that anybody wishes for, right? And in the event that people have it, you are hoarding it, or you are selling at 500, 600% over and above what you used to sell 2-3 days ago, I think it's unacceptable, and I think people should just should ask their conscience, what kind of life, what kind of people are we?
Well, now to security matters. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has vowed to wipe out bandits operating in the territory. The governor made a promise on Monday while visiting some villages in Igabi and Giwa local government areas of the state where gunmen suspected to be bandits killed no fewer than 51 persons. Addressing villagers in the communities, El-Rufai noted that his government will never negotiate with bandits. He promised that a manhunt has been launched to ensure the culprits are caught and brought to book. The bandits had attacked no fewer than 5 villages in Kaduna on Sunday morning, shooting sporadically and burning down houses and vehicles. They were, however, later repelled by troops of the Nigerian Army and Air Force. Still on security, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has met with security chiefs to review the report of the Presidential Committee on Small Arms and Light Weapons. The committee was set up to review the alleged influx of small arms and light weapons into Nigeria, especially through the nation's porous borders. The meeting, which held in Abuja, had in attendance the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, the National Security Advisor, Babagana Maguno, and the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ahmed Rafai Abubakar. The Comptroller General of Customs Service, Ahmed Ali, and Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, were also at the meeting. The issue of illegal movement of arms into the country was amongst the reasons the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari partially closed the country's land borders in August 2019. Minister for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, George Akume, says the federal government is ready to support initiatives that will ensure a successful fight against malaria. Akume said this in Abuja while receiving in audience Ned Nwoko Foundation, led by Chairman Ned Nwoko. The minister, who lamented the dangers of malaria to children under the age of 5 and adults, said the high mortality rate of the scourge needs to be addressed by the combined efforts of government and relevant stakeholders. The Nwoko Foundation paid a courtesy visit to intimate the minister with the plans and strategy put in place to eradicate malaria in Nigeria.
It is a credit to the president that in spite of the fact that we inherited an economy in distress, he has been able to pull us out of the road. I said to move. All hands are required on deck to ensure the success of the goals of this administration. One of them is health. This falls within the ambit of what your foundation is doing.
Malaria is a national and in fact it's a continental problem. It kills more than all other things put together. We are here talking about one person with the coronavirus, one person, or even about maximum 3,000 in the whole world, and it's shaking the whole world. 3,000 deaths in Africa. In Nigeria alone, we suffer more deaths from malaria daily, but nobody talks about it because it's an African problem, it's a black problem. But it shouldn't be so. It mustn't be so. We have come to accept that malaria is part of us. It is not part of us. It's just like the Chinese accept that corona is part of them. They have not accepted it, and they will not accept it. And they will find a solution. So the government is not doing anything about malaria the way I want it to be done. But luckily for me, I've met with government stakeholders, and we're working together. We have malaria because our environments are dirty. We have malaria because mosquitoes thrive on dirty environments. So we must clean up Nigeria, Minister. We must sanitize Nigeria.
The Supreme Court has adjourned until Tuesday hearing on an application seeking the review of its judgment which overturned the outcome of the last governorship election in Imo State. The Apex Court had earlier scheduled Monday, March 2nd to hear an application filed by Emeka Ihedioha of the People's Democratic Party seeking a review of the February 13 judgment that pronounced Hope Uzodinma the duly elected governor of the state. But a 7-man panel of the court led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Mohammed, however, adjourned the application until Tuesday following a request by Ihedioha's lawyer who sought the court to do so to allow him more time to study a respondent served to him. A lawmaker representing Ekiti South Constituency 2 in the Federal House of Representatives, Femi Bamisile, has opposed a bill seeking to grant immunity to the presiding officers of the National and State Assemblies. The immunity bill, which narrowly passed second reading in the House of Representatives, seeks to shield the legislators from all forms of prosecution during their stay in office. However, Bamisile is of the opinion that further immunity for legislators shouldn't be a major concern and must be subjected to further debate by the National Assembly.
At this point in time, for me, immunities are for the executive. I was a one-time Speaker of the House of Assembly, and the only thing that immunity does is it protects the individual from being harassed or taken away from exactly what is being constitutionally voted to do. That's all it is. Outside of that, like I said, it doesn't protect you for life. And I'm not saying that the National Assembly should be seeking for immunity as we speak. I don't see a reason why a principal officer would need what is called immunity, sincerely. But, like I said, I'm just one out of 360 people. It's going to lead into a debate, and we're going to argue it out. And let us see where it tilts towards. Even before I got elected into the National Assembly, I was one of those who advocated that immunity clauses should be removed from the executive. And you clearly would understand where I'm coming from. But like I said, this is democracy. This is where issues are being discussed. This is where issues are being debated. This is where you put your motions on the floor and we argue it back and forth. Let us see where it's going to tilt towards. But for me, you know where my vote would go to.
Following widespread calls on President Muhammadu Buhari to sack the service chiefs due to security challenges that has continued to soar in the country, Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs George Akume says Nigerians should be patient with the president. The minister said security situation in the country is receiving adequate attention by the president, who was a retired war veteran. Akume says the president understands the security situation well enough and knows when to relieve the service chiefs of their duty. The minister wants Nigerians to join hands with the government as security agencies continue to decimate the Boko Haram insurgents in northeast of the country.
I keep telling people that the greatest threat when we came in was Boko Haram. Government has completely disseminated Boko Haram. They have degraded Boko Haram. And what we now have is sporadic attacks from Boko Haram. It is normal in any war situation. Go to Afghanistan. Forget about Vietnam. Go to Afghanistan, go to Iraq. And these are the issues. When you defeat a ragtag army, that's the way they resort to guerrilla tactics. And that is the mopping up oppression that government is doing. And therefore, we have to give credit to President Muhammadu Buhari. The truth is that he has brought his background to bear on the security situation in the country. He appointed service chiefs. To the best of my knowledge, he has all the parameters at his disposal to know when to say goodbye and to know when to retain them. For those of us who are armchair critics, we can say what we want to say. But don't forget that these were the same people who destroyed Boko Haram and restored sanity. Don't forget that Boko Haram had taken over 2/3 of Borno and other areas in the northwest. Sometimes I wonder whether we're living a fool's paradise. But I want to say, and with all seriousness, and Nigerians must learn to have patience.
You're still watching News Now on TV360 Nigeria. We'll be right back with news from the world of business. Don't go away.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Thanks for joining us on the business side of the news. The House of Representatives has begun investigation into how the federal government spent the $1 billion special security fund approved for it by the National Assembly. Part of the money was used to acquire 12 Super Kano fighter aircraft from the United States. The House is carrying out the probe as it is considering a 5-year funding plan for Nigerian armed forces in their fight against insecurity. President Muhammadu Buhari had in 2017 sought the approval of the National Assembly for the withdrawal of $1 billion from the excess crude account for the fight against insecurity. And it was a sigh of relief for commuters at the Ojodu-Beja end of the Lagos-Ibadan expressway after the federal government reopened the road after succumbing to pressure of vehicular traffic. Represented by the Federal Commissioner for Works Southwest, Adedamola Kuti, the Minister of Works and Housing stated that the federal government is committed to completing the ongoing road construction work from Shagamu Axis to Bega within the next 22 months. The federal government had reconstructed the 600 meters of bad road between Ojodu-Bega and the mouth of the Kara Bridge, which began on Monday, September 2nd last year.
This is a total reconstruction, a reconstruction work that for some of you who have been going with us, you've been monitoring activities and progress on this road, you will have seen that our reconstruction work is, we get to the foundation of the road up to as much as 1.5 meters deep and building up from there, and of course expanding the road. You see, by the time, so when you now expand, and this is what you have seen now, this is what you are seeing, the final level is what you are now seeing. So the particular section has been constructed with drainages on both sides. The ministry is very, very mindful of this, and the minister is on everybody's head, and of course, he has assured Nigerians that this project will be completed in 2022. And by 2021, we plan to finish the entire corridor. The main corridor will be completed by 2021. And then by 2022, we should be able to complete those additional works that were not originally part of it that has been introduced. Additional works such as underpasses, flyovers, interchange, toll plazas, and the rest of them. We are going to have way bridges along sections of the road that will take care of all the axle load leaving Lagos. And everything is being done to protect the road. This road is constructed on flexible pavement, and we are going to have like 25 to 30 years. So of course, it's also going to minimize maintenance period. So what we have done now is just to do it once and for all, rather than come and do another rehabilitation and the rest of it.
We'll take a break here and return with stock market review. Please stay tuned. The first trading day for the month of March closed negative in the NSE, with market picking up from where it stopped in previous session. Lack of confidence in the market, coupled with coronavirus anxiety, caused crucial market indicators to dip further by 1.53%, and that pushed the benchmark of the all-share index to 25,816 for today. Similarly, the market capitalization of all listed equities shed 208 billion naira, closing the day at 13.449 trillion naira. And market breadth also closed negative, with 28 losers against 9 gainers. The worst performers were led, of course, by Nestle, shedding 113 naira in the value of its share price, and it's followed by CAP PLC with a 2.45 naira decline. WAPCO also didn't perform quite well today. Unilever also completed the list of 4 losers for the day, following sell pressure, which saw their share prices falling by 1.55 naira and 1.50 naira respectively. And on the flip side, to the gainers in the market today, Africa Prudential managed to chalk up gains to the tune of 15 kobo and leading the pack of 9, of course. Investors also traded positively in the stocks of Eterna, as well as Law and Union Insurance PLC and FCMB. And of course, in summary, the total volume of shares traded today stood at 325.6 million, and that's down from 416 in previous session, and the value of that summed up to 6 billion naira, also down from 6.1 in last session. But moving on now to foreign markets, and let's see how it all performed. Actually, good day for FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei. FTSE swings between gains and losses after worst week, but market seems to be moving towards correction territory. Dramatic rebound for the Dow, no surprises actually, which swung more than 1,000 points overnight. Nikkei is also up, closing at 0.95% higher for today. And that's it on this side of business, but there's more on international and sports scene. Please stay tuned.
Whilst the crash notes recently pressed to the right from possessing the problem nothing.
That the election has been postponed, and Nigerians have been reacting.
Local area of Lagos as early as 7 some minutes past the incident has been managed.
Headquarters this morning. We have
Welcome back. Not more than 25 people were killed and 61 others injured in a bus accident in the Eastern Cape on Monday. Spokesman of the country's Road Traffic Management Corporation, Simon Zwane, reported that the bus was traveling on a gravel road near the Tafalofefe Hospital on Monday morning around 8 a.m. when it overturned. While the exact cause of the crash was not known, Zwane says the driver reportedly lost control while going down a steep road. Eastern Cape Department of Health spokesperson Sizwe Kupelu says they had dispatched 2 helicopters and ambulances after hearing about the accident between Mazepare and Sibi. A member of the Islamic Republic of Iran's Expediency Discernment Council, Said Mohammed, has died of COVID-19. The Tasnim News on Monday reported that his death comes as other top Iranian officials have contracted the virus. The country has the highest death toll in the world after China. Earlier, several Iranian officials fell ill with coronavirus as Iran has become the epicenter of the outbreak in the Middle East. This month's FIFA window may suffer postponement following the spread of the coronavirus across the globe. unless adequate measures are put in place to curb the further spread of the virus. Nigeria Super Eagles are scheduled to host to Sierra Leone in a match day 3 AFCON 2021 qualifying game slated for March 23rd at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba. Although no word on it yet from the Nigeria Football Federation, it was gathered that chiefs of the federation are going to decide on the matter before the week runs out. However, over the weekend, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has refused to rule out postponing international football matches in response to the escalating global threat of the coronavirus. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.